It is time to find something to eat. And y'all gonna have to hear my heater today because it's cold in here. It is cold in this living room, and that's why I took my sweet time about coming in here. But welcome to Lovely J Podcast. I'm Coco, and it's cold. I got a coat on. I made sure I put pants on today to sit in here. I don't think I can sit in here during the winter months or the cold months with my dresses on, my little frocks. Y'all, you know how I love to wear my little dresses around the house. It's getting too cold for that. So I had to put some pants on. And then when I felt the water just really tripped me out. I said, oh my God, the water is almost, let me see what the date is. I'm going to tell you, hold up. The water, because I've been doing this for so long, y'all. I can time this out. Okay. Well, it's not too late. The water is about 5 days early. Yes, 5 days early. You're wondering early from what? It's 5 days early from the warm water leaving out the ground. Now the cold water is in the ground. Yep. And I keeps up with that because I don't have a hot water heater. So during the summer months, I can't start taking I can stop heating the water up by the stove or by my little heater thingy. My little portable water heater. I can stop heating it up the last week in May. That's when the ground warms up. I've been doing this 10 years. 10 years, okay? That I've been without a hot water heater. So the last week in May is when the water gets warm in the grounds here where I'm living at. And it's the first week in November when the water goes cold. Around November 1st, last week of October, when the water starts getting cold in the ground, and I can notice it big time. So now I got to find my portable heater and get back to warming up my water to take my baths instead of just, being able to run the water cold like it is and take a bath. Because I just tried to wash my face and it was so cold. I think my eyelashes froze. Oh, y'all, I'm happy though. Let me tell you why I'm happy. I do want to cut this heat off because y'all might not can hear me. I'm not going to be too long, so I think I can deal with this cold a little bit longer. So I don't have heat and I don't have a hot water heater, but I do have ways that I do heat. I use my stove to heat, and I use these little portable heaters to tote around. So I do have heat. Let me correct myself. I do have heat. I just don't have heat the way I should have it, but I do have heat. I'm extremely happy and thankful on today. I just want to tell God, thank you. Thank you so much for loving me. And anybody that's having trouble with anything in your life, I want to tell you that there is nothing that the scriptures do not have that cannot deliver and heal you no matter where you're at in your walk of life. I'm going to tell you, when I was an alcoholic and a drug addict, I don't know what I was chasing. I didn't know who I really was. I didn't know how powerful I was because I kept masking. And then a part of me did know how great I was, but I kept masking to fit in with people. Well, let me tell you, I am celebrating 12 years of sobriety today. It was actually October 13th, but we're going to settle for October before it gets out of here. And I didn't forgot about it until I was talking on here the other day. I forgot about it. I just went on living my life and didn't think much about it. But what really sobered me up, I'm going to tell y'all what really sobered me up. And that's why I can't really be angry at somebody who did something that helped me so much. I felt bad because I had my breakup and the breakup and my soberness happened around the same times. Well, it certainly played part in it. A lot of part in it. when me and my ex broke up, um, it was we wasn't broke up then. We were just he was just running around a lot then, and that was toward the end of our relationship when he started doing all that, and it just hurt so bad. But you know, when the Bible says all things will work together for your good, you know God is talking about the good things and the bad things. And it hurt so bad to see him, how he did me, how he left me. It hurt so bad. But I still kept going to church. Even though I wasn't, where I needed to be in God, I kept going to church. I kept singing. And it just happened. That love. Sometimes love, it do hurt. But it also creates straight paths. Because, they say the truth hurts, but it also creates straight paths. So for me, when he started doing his own thing, I tried to keep drinking and things. I was a drinker before he met me. I was an alcoholic before he met me. I'm going to tell you that. I was a drug addict before he met me. I just got introduced to new things while I was with him. But I was actually all of those things before he met me. I had been out there in them streets since I was 10 years old. Clubbing and drinking and smoking and things. But it was something about him. I don't know. I don't even really know how to put it now that I'm up thinking about it. But when I was laying in the bed, I had all the words to it. It was my love, in other words, was, I know I got sick drinking. I got poisoned. And every time I got poisoned, I go right back, still drink again. But it was something about this time that I knew that me and him weren't going to be back together. And I didn't stop drinking because of that. I stopped drinking because of the pain, the emotional pain that was attached to that. I had to stop drinking. I was about to lose my mind. I was there. I was right there at losing my mind. And the same story I'm telling now is the same one when I tell you that the Lord just had me turn around and come home and go get in the bed. God's love, he loved me enough that he sent me home to get in the bed. And I thought, how will I live this down? How can I deal with this pain? And I didn't really realize how bad the pain was until I spent a couple of days by myself. And it was so bad I shut down. I just shut down. But how the stop drinking part came in was, okay, so now he's going his way, I'm doing my thing, but we still not fully broke up yet. But I knew some things he was doing that I didn't like, and that was wrong. He was cheating, basically. And I come home, and I know y'all like, just get it out. But it's hard to just get it out because I'm trying to put it together as I'm talking. See, what be in my head and what come out my mouth don't always equal up to what I'm trying to say. So, all I can say is that I was in so much emotional pain that so I wouldn't hurt myself or hurt anybody else, I had to stop drinking. The more I drank, the more I felt. This was the first time that drinking did not numb my pain. It didn't numb my pain. It intensified hate. It intensified anger inside of me. Well, it wasn't hate, but it was anger. The anger I had inside of me, it just made it grow worse. And I didn't like that feeling. Because around this time, I am reading scriptures and getting to know God. I'm not where I need to be, but I'm getting to know Him. And every time I took a drink, it would go back and forth. I think about my dads who passed away. And those emotions were so intense. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I lost weight behind this mess. And then when I started back, you can gain more than what I lost. But the alcohol started doing things to me that I couldn't handle. See, before, when my dads had passed and I was drinking and stuff, I had Rollo with me. I was never by myself. We was the way we were, we weren't perfect. But at least he was with me, so if I get drunk or something, I wouldn't feel by myself. I wouldn't, it wouldn't feel like I was seeing things or somebody calling out to me from the dead, things like that. I had bravery. In a way, he was sort of like, he was always there. He was always there even when he wasn't there, because I knew he would be back, and now it felt like, not coming back this time. So when I would drink the beer and liquor, things would get bad when I was by myself. Man, I started hallucinating. I wasn't on no drugs either. I hadn't been on drugs since 2005. I started hallucinating because I didn't know that I had internal bleeding. I had an ulcer that was bleeding. Didn't know all that. I'm hallucinating. I'm having heart palpitations. It's a lot going on. My relationship is ending. Both my dads dead, so I can't talk to neither one. And on top of that, I'm flashbacking about them. I'm flashbacking about things that happened that shouldn't have happened at his graveyard site and, the day of the funeral. I'm having all this stuff. And then I got another parent, both mothers are living and both of them are sick at the same time. And the hospital's calling me saying, can you do this for Gloria? Or, I had a lot of weight on me. And I loved everybody. And I wanted to help everybody, But for the first time, I didn't feel like Superwoman. I didn't feel like I could pull that off, and I couldn't pull it off. I broke down in here. I ain't even gonna lie. I broke down in here so bad that I screamed, I yelled. I had to put on some gospel music and just ball up and cried. And I had to heal. I had to heal physically. My stomach had to heal physically. Because if I wouldn't have got to the hospital in time, I would have died from that internal bleeding. I had to deal with that by myself. I didn't have nobody, really. And I really didn't have nobody on my side. And that's when I started getting in the Word of God. And the more scriptures I read, the more I just forgot about alcohol. As the scriptures started changing me, I forgot that I was an alcoholic. I forgot about it. I just kept going with the flow of the scriptures, and I just kept asking God questions. Well, how is this? Why am I feeling like this? And everything I needed was in the Bible. That's why I be telling y'all, go to the Bible. Get it from the real source. Get it from the real power source. If you really want to break some change, you really want some deliverance, go there. Because, it just happened. And before I know it, I was like, I ain't drunk anything in over a year. And then it was like, I ain't drunk anything in over 2 years. And now here we are. And I stopped counting. I stopped counting, but the only reason why I remember when I stopped is because of that story that I always tell when them women made me feel bad about who I was. That's why I remember the year and the date that I stopped. I was driving a green Dodge Caravan, 2013, and I drove home drunk for the last time. I remember in my head back then, I wanted to cause harm. Yeah, I wanted to cause harm, but then it was something on the inside of me saying, why you gonna hurt yourself? He's still not gonna love you. He's still not gonna come for you. He's not gonna see about you. You hurt yourself all you want to, but that man he's not gonna do right by you just because you hurting yourself. And I was like, dang, that's right. I don't know where we get that from, wanting to hurt ourselves to get attention. It was like that for a long time when I was younger. So I came home. I was in the hospital though, November 3rd, 2013. November 3rd, 2013. I gave my life really to Christ. And that's when I cut that foolishness out. Because when I almost died, nobody was there for me. I had a hard time taking care of myself. And it was like sometimes I wanted to eat, but I was too sick to even get out of bed to feed myself. So I had to depend on somebody bringing me food from restaurants and things. And then you don't never know who really hates you. And this the honest truth. You don't know who really hates you in your family while you asking people to do things for you. It's some people only doing things for you so they can do things to you. And once I realized that, I stopped eating certain foods. And I was like, well, just bring me some Ensure. That's the only thing agreeing with me anyway. But yeah, that's how I ended up stopping drinking. The pain was too much. The alcohol and drugs used to numb my pain. But now it was making it worse. And there was nowhere else to turn to. And I ain't believing going to therapy back then. Nope. Sure didn't. I ain't believing that therapy stuff. And I didn't know what mental health issues were. None of that. I couldn't have told, if you would have came to me 12, 13 years ago, I could not tell you nothing about mental health, mental illness, alcoholism, drug abuse, domestic violence, breast cancer. I couldn't have told you nothing because I didn't have that skill and knowledge, but it had to happen to me. I had to go through and experience the heartbreak that I had to experience, although God didn't allow me to feel it all at one time. That's how good and loving our God is. He is patient and He is kind and He is loving, and He will deliver on time. See, what He didn't allow me to feel back then, this is how He created the brain. The brain will hold off and wait for you to catch up. God is so, I can't even say. I don't know the words to say. Hallelujah. God is so magnificent that He created us with a brain that knows when we're in trouble, that it will automatically shut off. And then once it shuts off, it might take a few years, but it will wait for you to heal before it tell you anything else. Man, and in my latter years, after my brain started to heal from all the alcohol and the drugs, because you know, alcoholism is a brain disease too. Yes, it is. It's a brain disease. That's why we get all these neural patterns and pathways, and we don't realize what we're creating in our brains when we turn to alcohol and drugs. That's why it's harder for some to get off than it is others. I've been an alcoholic since I was about 13 years old. I've been drinking since I was 10 and couldn't do without it. couldn't do without it for years. I just easily played it off because I was a big woman and people said I was pretty. That's how I played it off. A little makeup here and there, do your hair. People never know the difference. Act like you got some sense here and there, you know. But they didn't know the difference. I was alcoholic. But I like that thing how God created us, that our body, our brain will wait for us to catch up. And that's what happened. That's how I ended up quitting drinking. It wasn't a plan of mine. It was not a plan of mine, because if I would have been going by my plans, I would have still been in a toxic relationship. I would still been in a toxic relationship. I probably would still been running up and down the road, drinking, just wasting hours and time, you know, doing nothing instead of helping others. And I will never feel like my contribution to society is worthless. Everything I went through, I came back and I said, well, let me help the next person. Let me help the next person. And that's how I started. Because I said, I don't want no other woman to feel like what I feel like right now. You know you beyond rock bottom when alcohol and drugs don't even numb the pain anymore. You're dangerous. You go into a wicked state. I'm talking seriously wicked. Dangerous woman. Vindictive. Bitter. That could have been my portion. Dangerous. Unlovable. That could have been me. But God, He knew who He made me to be. And by His grace, I've always been a one who wants to know what's next, to how do I do this? How do I fix that? I've always been a solution maker, a solution carrier. And all I can say is that I thank God that I'm 12 years sober. 12 years sober. I don't miss it. I did drink a wine cooler this weekend. And I don't make excuses for drinking, but my dad always told me when my stomach feels bad, I got to get that fermented stuff on me. So I could have done. Maybe that's why I was craving sauerkraut. I wanted to make some homemade sauerkraut because, I don't know, my stomach just wanted it. And I told somebody, my daughter probably, I said, my stomach bad. I told her that last night. I said, my stomach been pretty bad the last couple of weeks. And so I drank that wine cooler in hopes that it helped, and it did calm it down a lot. That's about like the doctor who told me, when my stomach starts messing up on me, he said, go smoke some regular marijuana, and that will help heal your stomach. And it did for years. It helped keep that vomiting issue away that I had. So we got natural things out here that we can do to help heal our body and our mind, but any of it is dangerous when we intoxicate. When we get intoxicated off of it, any of it is dangerous. You can have too much of one thing, and it can be dangerous or deadly to you. And that's why, the wine cooler things, I probably drink one every 6 months, maybe a year, just to get that ferment on my stomach. Plus, the wine cooler don't taste bad. It don't taste bad, and I'm not addicted to any of it. It's not like I gotta have it. It's not like that alcohol. That alcohol had me. On Thursdays, I start craving it, and then realize why I always had attitudes and fussing and stuff. Because I was an alcoholic. I didn't even realize that's who I was. Just because I drink on the weekend didn't make me no better than the person who drunk every day. It's just that they had to have it every day, and I was a binge drinker on the weekends. So it was no difference. It was the same thing. It's just that he did his that way. He did his, and he was in better shape than I was, because he drank every day, and he was true to his alcoholism. I drank on weekends which made me think I was better than that. But I wasn't. I really wasn't. I really was not better than that. The devil will fool you and make you think that you are, but no. So if you are a person who is trying to quit drinking and things, I would tell you, just go find you some scriptures, pray. You got to keep praying. You got to keep finding scriptures. Treat scripture like food. It's the best food you can have. It's the best. It's one of the most vital nutrients that your brain can ever have. It's scripture. And once you put that in front of everything, once you put scripture in front of everything in your life gonna start lining up. It may not be the perfect life that you dreamed about as a kid with the white picket fences and, the loving husband or loving wife, but it's gonna line up the way it's supposed to be. I'm in my era of where I'm supposed to be right now. This is where I'm supposed to be. I have felt what I was supposed to feel over these last 12 years. And I have dealt with every feeling that comes to me. I dealt with it in an appropriate way. I gave it an appropriate closing. And even the things that I could not close out appropriately, like this grief process, I couldn't close it out. Just, if it really, really was like that, I say, okay, yeah, it's over with. But if I take that route, when it comes back up, what am I going to do? Because I have not uprooted it or I have not nurtured it in a way that I can live with this thing. So even with the grief, I have to take my time and I have to heal it the right way. I have to be healed the right way. You can't come play with me any kind of way. And I think that's just how God made me. Not to play with myself or play with anybody else's emotions. I was telling a guy earlier this morning that, I know you ain't been around me in years, but I don't do those kind of things that you talking about do. I don't. And I don't want to do those things. I don't want to go backwards and get with people who want me to be who I was 12 years ago. That's not who I am now. I'm a very successful woman. Black, educated, strong mind, strong-willed, God-willed. And I don't care who don't like me. I don't care who don't love me. I don't care how they persecute me and put me through things. Because if God be for me, it don't matter what the world's saying. Just knowing that God is for me, He will make my enemies my footstools. He made alcohol my footstool. I'm standing on top of that right now, building. Because I was an alcoholic at once upon a time in my life. Because I was a drug addict. I'm standing on top of that now. It's no longer standing on me. It does not have me in bondage. Now I'm stepping on this neck. And that's a beautiful thing when you can take captive those things that are trying to destroy your life. Because we got to remember that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's why we don't have loving relationships out here with siblings, with family members, with people we supposed to be helping. It's hard to find true relationships in a day and time like this. And I'm talking about, even when it comes down to like, just being friends. It's hard to find a true friend. And it bees that way sometimes. Joe Simon said that best. It's hard to find a true friend sometimes. It bees that way sometimes. And it's true. It's hard to find true people in your life these days. And more real people are getting scarce. If you find somebody real in your corner, boy, you better appreciate them. Because if they real, if you find them and they real with you, then they won't hesitate to leave you if they find out you're not real with them. Because we don't play that. We not playing with our hearts and our emotions. Y'all, I'm finna make me some chicken salad and eat it with these crackers. We don't play with our emotions. I understand that some of y'all are used to playing with people, but some of us don't play like that. I used to sit around and let people do me any kind of way. And I can't stand when I have to open that. And it was my fault. It was my fault. Every time I picked up that alcohol bottle, I could not blame nobody but me. Jamie, you had a choice. You didn't have to pick it up, but you did. You didn't have to drink because everybody else was drinking, but you did. You see what I'm saying? We have choices out here. I don't have to feel shame of anything I've been through or anything I've done just because that's what somebody wants me to feel. Just because they might have known somebody who felt shame from doing certain things. That's why when people ask me about, if they ask me about my relationship or they say something negative toward the relationship I was in, me and that man forgave each other. And truth be told, if I had to live that life again, I probably would choose him again. At the end of the day, we were fussing with one another, and we were good in our own way. And that's what people don't understand. Sometimes God allows us to go through things so we can learn. Wait a minute, I probably would not choose him again unless he was really single. Hold up, I had to correct myself on that. Because I do not want nobody's Mr. So-and-so. But if he was to be, if he would have been single, and we know that's not going to happen, so we ain't even go down that hole. This finna be just simple chicken salad. Just a little bit of mayo and black pepper and some crackers. That's it. I should have drained this a little more. I don't like soupy. But it feels good to be 12 years sober. There's been plenty of temptation too. But you know what? My mind been so much on God and doing good things in life. I really hadn't thought about it. I know people have asked me, do I want a drink or something? And I'm like, no. I'm not trying to be funny. That's just not where I'm at. But can I still sit around people who drink? Yeah, I can sit around them. I can sit around people who smoke. But I don't because it's not good for my health. And because temptation does come. Why would I want to tempt myself like that? I know how hard it was to get off of the drugs, and the alcohol was not bad for me to get off of it. Like I said, it just happened. It just happened. It wasn't intentional or anything. Maybe I be trying to figure that one out myself. Was it the scare that I got because I got poisoned and then my stomach was bleeding? Was that it? Was that really what knocked me off of alcohol? Nah, it was the scriptures. It was the scriptures did it for me. I mean, I was studying so much in the Bible. And I got to get back studying in the Bible because I feel like I done missed out on something that I'm supposed to know or something that I'm supposed to be learning. I got to go back in it. Y'all, I'm just stirring up this. Ooh, I'm going to eat mine with seaweed. I like the seaweed better than I do crackers now. So, yes. Do not let people... Don't let people tell you that you can't get off of something because you can. I remember there was one doctor that told me, I don't know who he was either, but he must have been from Satan because he told me, if you stop this, you're going to make yourself sicker. That's what that doctor told me. If you stop drinking, you're going to make yourself sicker. Or if you stop smoking, you're going to make yourself sicker. Y'all, don't listen to people like that. when you stop doing what your body was not made to do, it begins to heal. Your body order gonna change, your breath gonna change, your breathing gonna change, your brain patterns gonna start healing. Your brain nerve cells gonna start healing. It's so much healing in just stopping that one thing that you know is bad for you. That could be loving somebody who don't love you. We love people, but it's a difference between the romantic love versus the godly love. Because sometimes people get that mixed up. People are jump in a relationship and thinking that they're giving godly love with them conditions, but them conditions, no. Anyways, nah. But love yourself first. I'm gonna give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I'm gonna get off of here and eat my food because I might want to do a little bit of video. Love yourself first. Love God over all. God don't even have a number. He just above all. He's above all. You hear me? Put him above all. That's just it. Love yourself, then love people. I can't tell you who to put in order because when I say people, just love people regardless. Some are much harder to love than others. Be quick to forgive because holding on to things like that, and I'm going to tell you, you young ladies who like to drink and then hold your bottles up, because I'm going through something, and you moving your head back and forth, and it feels good to sway back and forth because you're going through something and you're able to show people that you can drink, you can smoke. I hope those same people be there for you when you get your diagnosis. But I pray you don't have to ever have a diagnosis like the ones I had. But it is most certainly possible if you continue down that road, down that path. It's just not worth it. And then they talking about young women getting liver disease, cirrhosis earlier than ever now. And they being diagnosed in like their 20s now. And before you wouldn't hear about, women getting diagnosed or men getting diagnosed with cirrhosis unless they was in their like close to 50s and 60s and had been drinking all their life. But now it's like in the 20s and 25s. It's because the chemicals, everything is made different. Everything is made fast now with chemicals that take you. It's made fast, so it's going to take you out fast. Just remember that. It may be cute for the moment, but what's the long-term issue? You know what I'm saying? How's it going to leave you long term? So, since I've been on my journey as a single woman, I quit drinking. I quit smoking. Before that, in 2005, I quit doing drugs, crack cocaine. I was sniffing meth. I quit that in 2005. That's going to be 20 years ago next month, and we'll talk about that next month. But right now, let me just tell you, if you know you over drinking and you just drinking because it's just your lifestyle or that's what that's what we do. If you got that type of mentality, that's what we do, man, then you're missing out on life. It's a beautiful life out here, but you missing out on it because that's what you do. And that's just repeated behaviors of what you've seen others do. Anyways, I gotta go. But yeah, 12 years, happy 12 years to me. And I pray my strength that there'll be many more. And I just give God all the glory and praise for everything that he has delivered me from. And I know I'm still a work in progress. He's still delivering me from some things. I keep telling y'all, one day I'm going to tell you this big major thing that he delivered me from that it just seems like it's hard to get away from, but I'm doing a little better at it. But I need deliverance. It's the resisting part that's really hard on my end. I got to learn different ways to resist this certain thing. Peace, love, and happiness. Y'all go be great. Have a great day.